Hello, California, and welcome to this week's edition of Your Financial Compass, the show dedicated to helping you successfully navigate to and through your retirement. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, and joining me in the studio are two members from Bulman Wealth Group, based right here in the great state of California. We have financial advisors Scott Bulman and Shawn McAmoyle. Today, we are going to be talking about gaining clarity, confidence, and calm by cleaning your financial garage. You're not going to want to miss today's episode. We have a really fun one for you. But first, Scott and Shawn, it's so great to be here with both of you. How are you today?
Yeah, it's better today because Chris Bulman, who's usually here, the ratings were so bad that we had to pull him. So we added Shawn. So we're hoping that'll improve our ratings.
Oh, well, you and Chris have been the face of the TV show for a long time. But Shawn, I know that you've been on the radio show some already, and it's great to have you here in the television studio.
Thanks, Kristen. It's great to be here. I'm honored, thrilled. Big shoes, big chair to fill.
Aww.
Big chair to fill where Chris was. And I noticed Scott has an ejection button right here. So if things don't go quite well, I can be shot out.
We'll just have to ride it, the two of us.
Well, I'm so glad that both of you are here. And if you are new to us, we like to have a lot of fun on the show. But really, at the end of the day, this show is all about you and helping you achieve your financial goals. We're going to be talking today about cleaning your financial garage. And isn't it the case that typically our garages can get really messy? We have the best of intentions, but then next thing you know, stuff gets put here, stuff gets put there. All of a sudden, there's no more room for the car to fit in the garage. It's so important to make sure that that doesn't happen with your finances. And in fact, as we're going to be sharing today, it's important to make sure you've cleaned your financial garage on a regular basis. So that's really what we're going to be talking about today, right? Because a lot of folks have several different types of accounts. Maybe they've left behind old workplace retirement accounts at previous places of employment. It can often feel like a very messy garage.
Well, I mean, a lot of times you can think of financial topics and put them in analogies. And this is actually when we had used this on a previous radio show. I think he read about it in a book. But as you said, Kristen, most folks, I think it's like a newer thing. Like back when I was growing up, everyone parked in the garage. Now everyone's got 8,000 things. There's old doll clothes. There's the old Nintendo system. You know, especially if you have kids, you know this. But, you know, I think we have a photo, too, of a messy garage. That is a lot of us. I would say...
That's
Chris's garage we took. He's not even doing a garage sale. Like, that's just what it looks like all the time. And obviously, that's not what we want. And if we think of it in the analogy sense, a lot of our financial situations look the same because, as you said, Kristen, there's stuff everywhere. You don't remember what you had. Ideally, we're trying to get to a much more, that brings me so much joy to see that.
It does. I look at that and I just instantly am calmed, right?
I'm calm.
It's organized, clean, you can find everything you need, big difference.
But that's not most folks. That's not reality. I wish it was. Mine's kind of close to that. Chris's is not. Shawn's probably even worse, but that's what we're trying to get to with our finances.
Right. Well, Shawn, I know, because this was, you inspired this show based on using this analogy.
Based on my garage.
But I know you've talked to a lot of folks, and this really resonates with people.
I think 11 out of 10 homeowners have experienced that feeling of just angst, frustration. You tolerate it for only so long after, and we were talking about this, Scott and I, you have a need for a screwdriver or a screw, and you go to the hardware store and you buy it, and you come back and you realize you already own it.
Yes.
And how frustrating that is because you have no clarity. You don't know what you have.
Right.
And I just, so we have done this. We've talked to people about this. We've done seminars around this. Years later, I've had people come up to me and say, I need to clean my financial garage. Or I talked to someone on the phone, an old boss, an old colleague said, this weekend I cleaned my financial garage. So I just think it intuitively resonates with everyone. And once they've cleaned their garage, whether it's their physical garage or their virtual financial garage, there's this tremendous feeling of relief, calm, and that you have your life in order. I think it spills over into other areas of your life.
For sure,
well.
for sure. So I guess let's dig a little deeper into that. What are the big risks or concerns for folks if they do have a lot of financial clutter and they haven't cleaned their financial garage? What's at stake?
Well, just take a little step back, and I know Scott can talk about that too, but think about throughout our lives, we collect stuff. We collect a lot of financial stuff. 401ks at previous employers, IRAs at different financial institutions. It's April 14th and people say, oh my gosh, I gotta open up an IRA before April 15th, and they go down to the local bank and open up a new IRA account. Small pension plans that people don't even think about anymore, life insurance policies. And over time, this becomes financial stuff or financial junk that's really not working together and can truly create costs and risks for families.
Yeah, for sure. And when you don't know what you have, it's really hard to then have a solid plan and figure out how you can get to where you want to go, right?
Yeah, and as Shawn was saying, it's almost an egregious number. There was a study in May of 23. It said over $29 million of 401k accounts exist at old employers. And that's one of the things we see the most of. People change jobs a lot more than they used to.
Yep.
So, John or Jane Doe, they've worked at 3 different places. They might have 3 different accounts. Then they might have an account that was gifted to them or an account they inherited. And it's a nice problem to have. It's like washing your jeans. You find a $5 bill, instead you find a $30,000 401k. But it starts to add up in the sense of it's not probably all pointing in the same direction of our goals in terms of having these different accounts. And 2, there's a lot of fees and costs that can build up with accounts that are hovering in old 401ks, that there's probably a way to tidy that up. And a lot of times if we leave money in those accounts, these 401k accounts only have a certain amount of options they can provide in terms of funds to choose from. So generally, if you can consolidate old accounts into an IRA and then working with someone like us, we're going to have a lot more options. So it's a nice way to tidy it up and tidy up fees and make sure, start to harness everything in the right direction.
Yeah, as you were sharing that study, over 29 million old workplace retirement plans left behind with an average balance of over $56,000 in them. And I've heard stories of that where people have come in, they've come in to meet with you and they said, oh yeah, I have this old 401k, it's only 40 grand. Only 40 grand, you can do a lot with that, right? Especially if you're consolidating your accounts, where everything is. All of your money can be working hard for you together.
Right. And really that's what it comes down to is this is probably, if you're listening, I'm sure you probably have old accounts hovering out there. And A, it's a good thing to have, but B, as we said, it can add up and gather dust. We're trying to get these together. And if this is you, then you can call the number below. You can schedule a time to have a conversation. We'll do what we call a complimentary financial compass review, where we can talk about old accounts. We can talk about the stress that your messy financial garage brings you, and begin to say, hey, maybe there's a way to clean it up. Maybe we're the ones with the right brooms you're looking for. So call the number below, and we can set up a time to start to discuss that.
Wonderful. Scott, Shawn, thank you so much. I'm excited to continue this conversation with you. But if you would like to take advantage of this opportunity and receive your very own complimentary financial compass review, this is a great way for you to start the process of cleaning your financial garage. All you need to do is call that number on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685. Or if you'd rather connect online, we've got you covered. If you simply pull out your smartphone, you can open up that camera app. Just point, click, and scan that QR code that you see there down in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. That will take you over to a landing page, ask you a few short, simple questions, and then a member of the team from Bulman Wealth Group will reach out to connect with you to schedule your complimentary meeting that way as well. When we come back, we're going to be diving deeper into some more strategies to help you clean your financial garage. Stay with us.
I became a financial advisor coming out of the tough times of the tech bubble in the late 90s, early 2000s. Moved to California, uprooted my life, changed everything, and then 9/11 happened the first week in this industry. I was prepared already to help people from tough times coming out of the tech bubble, but what we didn't expect is there were 3 years in a row when I started of the market dropping. That really impacted my whole career. It crafted and created how we manage money. We don't want our clients to ever lose like that, and so everything we do is built on protection. The goal of our practice and the people that we meet with is to remove the fear and uncertainty that we all face, and it goes back to those first years in the market.
I was a sportscaster on television. I grew up in Flint, Michigan, in TV, you bounce around, and went to Mississippi and worked at the NBC station there and covered, college football's big, NFL's big, all that stuff. And a guy I knew relatively well in a different state decided to get out of TV, and in this opportunity I always enjoyed finance and money, and it seemed really exciting. I like to communicate to folks and feel like I can communicate well. It was such a fresh, kind of different career than what I was used to that it was exciting.
We go into every meeting with no place to get. We're there to meet with you, to discover your needs, find out where you are at that point, and how we can help you build and craft that plan for the future.
Welcome back to Your Financial Compass. I'm your host, Kristen Oakley, here with financial advisors Scott Valan and Shawn McAmoyle from Bulman Wealth Group. And today we are talking all about cleaning the messy financial garages that exist. So if you think you have a messy financial garage, so to speak, we have some strategies to help alleviate that mess today. So Shawn, again, this analogy is so great. I know you said it's resonated with a lot of folks. They've come up to you years after you've maybe said it at a presentation or whatnot and said, okay, I'm ready to clean this financial garage. What's the first step when you meet with someone who is ready to take that step and really clean out what they've got?
Well, just like our physical garage, the first step is we just pull everything out of the garage, right? We pull, and many of our clients will come with 3-ring binders or old folders just full of old statements. So that's their garage, and it's messy. So we pull everything out to do a full inventory. But before that, it's important just to really go deep conversation around what the family's goals are, what they're trying to accomplish, where they are today, where they want to go in the future. Because without really understanding what the plan is, we don't know whether this investment account is worth keeping. We don't know how this mutual fund account at another old 401k really fits into the overall picture. So first is starting to understand what the client's goals are. So we start that first step of building the plan, but then pulling everything out and doing a full inventory so we know what they own.
Right, and what you're working with and what tools are there available. And how often would you say, Scott, when folks come in, that is their situation, that things are kind of a mess? And
Do you want the real answer or
Yes.
the political answer? Probably 8 times out of 10, because
Yeah.
like Shawn was saying, one of the nice things if we sit down with someone and begin to have that conversation is that conversation could be a catalyst to find out, oh my gosh, I have this old pension that's going to pay me $1,000 a month. I forgot all about it. Or I've got this old account in one instance, someone came in. There's can be opportunity loss too. As this person came in, they're like, oh yeah, I was going through all my stuff. I found out I have this old account. It's got $50,000 in it. It's 10 years old. It's been sitting in cash for 10 years, so it hasn't grown at all. So sometimes it's like there's a lot of opportunity loss there too. So that. In another instance, someone came in. They had an old account, and their husband was still the beneficiary.
Oh, wow.
It's like, is that the goal? And they're like, absolutely not.
Right.
So it can trigger, these conversations can trigger action,
Yes.
but also find out, wow, opportunity loss here, the wrong person here. It just helps to, that adds so
Streamline
much
it
peace
all,
of mind
right?
and streamline it.
Yeah,
definitely.
for sure. So once you've taken inventory of everything that someone has, what's the next step?
Well, to continue the analogy, just like a physical garage, once we've pulled everything out, we've done a full inventory. Once we understand what the goals are, we know what's worth keeping, what should we consolidate. Then we like to put in the hooks and the shelving so we can get things off the floor and onto the walls. And that's really the strategy. And here, Bulman Wealth, we use a 5-point financial compass that focuses in on income, taxes, healthcare expenses, investments, legacy planning. And that really gives us the organization, the framework, the hooks, and the shelving to put everything back in its place so we know that all the investments are working in unison for a common goal or a common purpose.
Right. And I just know, I think of that picture again of the clean garage that we shared. It just is like when your space is cluttered, you feel cluttered. When your space is organized and clean and you know what you're working with, then you have that clarity, right? And that calm. And that's really what this is about, is making sure folks don't have undue, unnecessary stress about their financial lives. It starts with organizing and taking inventory of everything.
I think it's also the reason a lot of time that one of the big reasons people don't take action on talking to an advisor or really sitting down because they're afraid of what they're going to find.
Right. Yeah.
And they're like, oh my gosh, there's so much there. And there's $100, like, I get all this mail and I throw it away. And most of the time that's probably a good thing. But when we find these old accounts, or we'll find an old account for $1,000, like, hey, just cash that out, take it, put it in your bank account. I mean, it just helps declutter, as Shawn said, and remove the things that don't need to be there either, because a lot of fluff builds up, a lot of kind of fat on the bone that we can trim off too, that you don't need that. Or I've got this old life insurance plan that my mom got me when I was 5. I'm 55 now, do I still need it?
Right.
I mean, probably not. So
Right.
we can begin to trim that down. And again, as I said, I think that's one of the biggest hurdles people have in terms of wanting to talk to someone, because they know it's going to be a big process to track all of it down, and wow, I still have that. So.
Well, and I think there can be some shame associated with that too, right? Like when people don't know what they don't know and it's already feeling overwhelming and, oh my gosh, I have to gather all this stuff. But you guys help remove that overwhelm. And I know that you gladly walk people through that process. So if someone's watching and they're going, yeah, I know that it's a mess, I don't even know where to start, please help. What would you say as encouragement to them?
No, I think that's a good, accurate description. Some people feel overwhelmed. Some people may even feel embarrassed that they know that they have to and have been meaning to take care of this, but they just haven't. So, and the big risk and danger is if people are years from retirement, there's precious time and years lost having that disorganization where they're missing opportunities to grow their money to live a better retirement. So I think we talk about 3 C's. There's clarity, confidence, and calm, and we'll come back to this, I know we will, but clarity is we know what we own. Through clarity comes confidence. And once you have clarity and you have confidence in your plan, then that gives you a peace of mind, which we've called calm.
Yeah, for sure.
And really, like, I like the word you said, is like a lot of times people, there's some shame involved. And if that's you, there shouldn't be. Shawn will make you feel shameful if he talks to you. I won't. But it's
He's totally kidding.
Yeah, I'm kidding. But you don't have to be embarrassed. We have seen every situation you can pretty much imagine in the financial realm. So there's no judgment. We've heard every question. And if that's you, call. If you don't want judgment, you just want someone to begin help tidy things up, explain what you need, what you don't need, why this is there, what this is or isn't doing, you can call the number below. We can set up a complimentary financial compass review. We can talk about these things, begin cleaning your garage, and then get everything back working together in a way that you can understand as well, not try to be like, we're super smart, look how smart we are. It's like, we understand. Here's ways we can offer value.
And I so appreciate how you treat each situation with care and compassion. To your point, you have seen a lot of situations. Nothing's going to shock you. Nothing's going to be too much to handle. This is what you do for folks. It's not just about investment management. It's about all of financial planning, but really you're acting as a coach and as a support to help people get everything organized. So I know that this is going to be really helpful for a lot more folks as well. So if you're out there and any of this is resonating with you, here's the good news. You don't have to do this alone. We know that this can feel very overwhelming. Wouldn't it be nice to have the peace of mind of having experts come alongside you who've walked through this road before, who can walk it with you? So we encourage you, don't wait, pick up the phone and schedule your complimentary financial compass review today. Again, this is for no cost, no charge, no obligation. It's simply an invitation to have a conversation to see how the team of Bulman Wealth Group can help and serve you. 888-970-4685 is the number to call. Or again, you're also welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected. We'll be back with more right after this.
As Americans, we strive for better, from a better house to a better career to a better life for our kids. Better has become the American way. But when it comes to your retirement, what does better mean to you? More income, a flexible lifestyle, better solutions? A better retirement begins with a plan. To get your complimentary written financial plan, call the number you see here. You only retire once. This is your opportunity to plan for better.
Successful retirement to me is someone who doesn't have to worry about where their next paycheck's going to come from, where the income's going to come from. Are they going to run out of income? Are they going to run out of money? Are they going to meet their financial goals with respect to maybe they want to leave money to their children, maybe they want to leave money to a philanthropy or a university? Solving all those issues is what a secure retirement looks like.
Being able to wake up and know the day is an open slate and not having to worry about things. Or say someone's going on a trip with family, they're going to the beach, and if the headline says, the market's down again or something, they're not concerned. Bulman Wealth has my back here. We've got a plan in place. My portfolio is set up in a way that concern is not there. The plan and finances should not be the concern once they get to that stage of working with us and entering into retirement.
Welcome back. You're watching Your Financial Compass, brought to you by the team of Bulman Wealth Group. I'm Kristen Oakley here with both Scott and Shawn, financial advisors from Bulman Wealth Group. And today we've been having a great conversation all about cleaning out your financial garage. I know that a lot of folks watching have been able to relate to this analogy that you've talked about today. I'm curious, how does someone know, okay, it's time. I have got to get this taken care of, no longer put it off anymore. I need to meet with you guys. I need to clean my financial garage.
Yeah. Well, I think that's what's so great about this analogy is that I think people just know. I mean, we know when your garage is messy, you're stepping over boxes and stubbing your toe on toys that are on the floor. So we just know intuitively that I've got to get this taken care of. And the first step, of course, is just reaching out to us because we're going to help them organize that financial garage. And we talked about the embarrassment or feeling overwhelmed. And one of the things that I think makes Bulman Wealth so unique is we have the heart of a teacher, of an educator. And we do this every day. I mean, Scott and Chris and the other advisors and I, we look at messy financial garages every single day. And we recognize that you out there, our clients, don't. You're living busy lives, doing successful, important things in their own life. And they're part-time at this. And so we have to have that heart of an educator to help give our clients clarity in terms of what they own. And that clarity turns into confidence because they know they have a plan. And then they can sleep well at night knowing that nothing's going to slip through the cracks. No critters are going to
That's the third C is critter. Clarity, confidence, and critters.
Well, we were talking during the break, so the constant argument between my husband and I is if the garage is a mess and he leaves the garage door open, I'm like, I just know a snake is going to get in there and come out and bite me. But there's a good analogy for that, right? Like if you don't know what you have, it is a mess. Things can get in there that you don't want to have in there.
Varmints, critters, whatever you want to say,
Yes, but what is the actual?
The third C is calm. So, it goes right in tandem with the other two. And another thing that comes from that calm is when we're sitting and going through this is a lot of times people don't have their accounts and things set up. What about when you're not here? Who do you want all this to go to? I know we don't want to sit and think about that and talk about those things, but that's part of the equation too, is the legacy element is, as I said earlier, the person had the wrong beneficiary or they have minors as beneficiaries, which you can't do on a life insurance plan or an account. So just helping tidy some of those up too brings the calm of like, oh, okay, now, God forbid if something happened to me tomorrow, the money's going on where it needs to. And you even think, I don't know if we touched on this earlier, but you find all these old accounts, it might, say you have an old IRA, old 401k, it might make sense to do a Roth conversion, get some of the taxes out of the way now. So it's just, you don't know what you don't know. And as Shawn said, we do this full time. We should know it. You don't. And that's okay. I can't show up, or we can't show up at your job and do what you do. So, give yourself some grace.
Yes, for sure. Well, I know another thing that's probably on folks' minds is using this analogy of the garage, oftentimes folks will do a big spring cleaning, right? And they get it all organized, ready to go. But a few months go by, it's easy to slip back into old habits. All of a sudden, things start to pile up again. How do you help folks maintain the cleanliness once you've done that big cleaning of their financial garage?
Well, we meet with our clients frequently, and once the plan's set, it's not a set the plan and it's done. We've got to, and every client's different based on the complexity and the needs. Some clients we meet with quarterly, other clients we meet with every 6 months to go do deep dive. Minimum once a year deep dive spring cleaning to make sure that everything is working the way it's supposed to.
Yep.
That they haven't collected more financial stuff without talking to us about it. And so that just keeps the
maintaining of it.
The maintaining of it.
Yeah. Well, and then you're able to make adjustments when life does happen, right? Because we all know that does.
Well, and
occur.
another thing too, kind of jumping off what Shawn was saying, is once we have that relationship, it's almost like we're on retainer in a sense of, I have clients reach out, life changes. It doesn't just happen once a year in the spring and, oh my gosh, my life is chaotic again. Things happen at any point. Someone passes, great uncle or great aunt Esther passed, and I'm inheriting money, or we just decided we're gonna move or sell our house. All these things pop up, and it's nice to know that there's a team there to walk you through it. And and we said this before, it's not just Shawn and I and Chris and our advisors. We've got several staff that get to know our clients. You're not just another name getting tossed around. We get to know you, and like there's a nice family environment. So the reason I say all that is to say, once that's there and you notice your garage is getting dirty again, it's just a simple email or a call, and we can help you out. So it's just that ongoing relationship too that I want to make a big point about.
Yes.
And Scott, you said the word inheritance, which triggered in me this idea of who is going to inherit your financial garage, right? And this idea of what we call legacy, and it's really an important part of what we do as advisors, is do you want to leave your financial garage messy or organized? And in many cases, in many families, one spouse is the keeper of the garage, and does the other spouse really know what's in there and how everything's organized? And those are important conversations that we have with our clients about, let's ensure that we bring the family in. We talk about money with other family members, so when it does come time for them to inherit that financial garage, it's in order.
Absolutely. Well, I know that you guys pride yourselves on doing life with your clients, and you treat your clients like family. And I think, you let family in through the garage, right? Everyone else has to come through the front door. So I think that this is a very great analogy, and I'm excited for more folks to be able to connect with you and get the help that they need. So Scott, Shawn, thank you so much. And thank you for joining us. Again, to get your financial compass review, this is completely complimentary. If you know you need help cleaning your financial garage, today's the day. Pick up the phone, call that number on the bottom of your screen, 888-970-4685, or again, you're welcome to scan that QR code and that will get you connected as well. Be safe, be happy, be blessed. We look forward to being back with you next time here on Your Financial Compass.